Hi, everyone.
Hang on. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Here we are again. It's Veronica Bartolini with Unchained Hearts. How are you doing today, everyone? Today's Friday. There's a meme out there that says Friday rhymes with alcohol. I'm like, well, Friday rhymes with my water. And today we have Michael Jaco and James Ring with us. And of course, Katie Camara, my producer with Soma Fusion, Mind, Body, and Soul. And we are going to have a great time today. There's many questions that the SSP community has for you, Michael, and and also I'm sure you have questions for us too. I met Michael Jaco finally at the Vegas show that we did for Secret Space Program and Super Soldier Talk and the 5D events for consciousness, raising awareness of what's going on today and, what can we do, solutions and things like that. I only got to talk to you, Michael, for like 2 minutes, but Michael Jaco, welcome, and James Rink.
It's great to be here.
Thank you, Veronica, for inviting us.
I appreciate both of you coming on. So what I did here was, I just want to talk about water real quick. I took a nice hot bath this morning because there's a lot of I don't know if you all noticed, but there's like a lot of like a really, really, really high energy yesterday. I felt like I was on pre-workout my whole day, and I had not even taken any pre-workout. I just had coffee, I had maybe 2-3 hours of sleep, right? They call it the Schumann resonance, but in a way, I feel also that that's a psyop, okay? Because there's a lot of technology out there, like especially the Manhattan Project, the Invisible Shield, all that stuff, cloaking technologies, etc. So this morning, I'm like, you know what? And I went to the gym twice yesterday, and I'm like, okay, today I gotta chill. So I took a nice hot bath. What I do in my bath water is Himalayan salt and baking soda, right? And then some lavender or whatever you need. And last night I had to detox myself. I said, something's going on. So I drank two glasses of this. And this morning I was able to detox. We're not going to talk about bathroom stuff right now, but oh my goodness, right? So I'm going to say what's in my water, and then we'll take turns and see if you all can speak to the sentient being that is water. It is an entity that I love so much. I put lemon, and this is just regular tap water. I put lemon in this one, and then I did what do they call that? You can put chiltepin or you can put paprika in there. And then I have a pepper. What else did I put in there? Some baking soda and some pink Himalayan salt. Because at the gym, I don't know if it happens to you all, James or Michael, is that I have Charlie horses at night, especially when I do leg day, because I do leg day twice a week. So anybody want to take a turn and talk to me about what do you guys do for help, as far as gym days or calming the energy around us? Michael, you want to go first?
I totally agree. It was a massive energy day. Because sunspot activity, Schumann resonance went through the roof. I was feeling it. Fortunately, Tracy Joe keeps me informed what's going on. So I wasn't hit by energy weapons. So I was like, okay, that's Schumann resonance going through the roof. So I was at the gym, and I was being led to drink lots and lots of water. So all day long, it was like every hour, I was like in the bathroom. I was like, what is going on? But yeah, it was definitely an elimination day. And it was, the energies and stuff like that were coming through. I remember I got in the car and I was driving, and I was like, everything went, ooh. I was like, oh man, hopefully I make it home without having to pull over. And I've never done that yet, but I felt a couple of times where you might have to pull over. But I just kept myself, focused, and finally got in the house, and I was like, boom, I was out. And I was like, oh my God, the gym was like really tough getting a workout in yesterday. And usually I go in and crush it. I don't care if it's an off day. for me, I still can go in the gym and crush it, but yesterday was like super high energy coming in, and my body super sensitive, so I was like absorbing it, and I feel much better today. So yeah, definitely elimination day yesterday.
You, James, and then I'll talk. Remind me of this big old flash that I saw last night. Okay, here we go, James. I'm gonna mute myself now. Thank you, Michael.
I think the question is pre-workout. What pre-workout I use? Is that the question?
Kind of, yeah. Like, okay, so we're talking about water. Like, do you speak to your water? I do. You know, it's a sentient being. What do you put in your water to detox?
Well,
Things like
yeah.
that.
Well, I have a Berkey water filter, and so make sure I get rid of that fluoride, which everybody's talking about the Jabaroos, but fluoride seems to be nobody's focusing on that one. That's another one that they've been putting in our water supply for a very long time. So take that stuff out. And of course, you could also do some iodine type supplements. You could even eat some different types of kelps. I do take like a kelp supplement for that. But 12 milligrams a day of iodine. So pre-workout, I make a tea out of Shilajit, Damiana, and date seeds. I use 10 date seeds. Use more than that, your voice will start dropping because it actually boosts your testosterone. Sort of like pine pollen, but you can it's a cheap way of doing it. You just go to the grocery store and get the dates that have the seeds and then boil them. You don't want to eat them. Yeah, you'll probably get sick. I don't know. You'll probably break your teeth, but just boil them. And then you could save them and boil them again the next day. So you don't have to eat 10 dates a day. But anyway, so yeah, it's a rejuvenating tea. Also, if you want to boost some of your testosterone levels, take some boron. One time I was doing the borax stuff, and I think I was taking a little bit too much, and I was actually getting rage. So yeah, be careful about how much you take. Roughly 6 to 8 milligrams a day should be plenty. And if it's borax, you have to downscale it for because it's not actually bounded right now. But yesterday I woke up super tired, and I felt drugged, but I also felt really good. And that's why I contacted you last night, Veronica, because did some remote viewing with my friend, and we came up some information. I thought maybe I could share it on the show if you want. But yeah, I was active. I was actually taken last night and put in stasis for 2 weeks while I was doing mission work. I did 3 different missions for the last 2 weeks, and then they time traveled me back and put me back. So when I woke up, I remember eating a really large. Well, I ate a fairly large meal right before I went to sleep, and then 3 or 4 hours later, I woke up and I was starving. And I was like, okay, and super tired. So I knew that's usually a sign that they get you. And it's very likely, Michael, you might, if you, I don't know, we've ever really looked into exactly what groups you work for, but if you were part of Kruger, because they activated a bunch of us, and it was basically we were taking out the cabal. But we can go into this just a bit.
10, 12, 1 second, stand by.
Yeah.
If you can find. I have some questions. We're gonna get into this, okay, guys, and we might, I don't know, we might go a little over an hour if you all don't mind or whatever. If it happens, because we're on for 2 hours, but we'll see. There are some questions about from the SSP community, and then we'll get into the memories. Because Michael, I had another memory. I had a memory of you. But that's intense. So we're probably gonna have to get into it a little later. Okay, I have questions from the groups, from different people that have sent me questions, and of course, I have questions. So they're asking, where does Michael Jaco come from? And then Michael, don't get offended, but when I think of you, I say Jaco Draco. I'm like, it rhymes with Draco. Are you of Draconian descent? They want to know, where were you born, city, occupation? how old were you when the Navy and CIA contacted you? Do you have any memories of being my lab? Go ahead, whichever ones you want to go for first. Thank you, Michael.
So I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. That's where I was born, 1960. So been a while, been around a while. And I have memories of going into the being drafted pretty much around 3. I have, my mother was involved in that, and then she was wiped, and my memory was wiped, and I feel that I was cloned. So there's I have all these memories that started around that time frame. And then I have when I was around 12 years old, there was like a portal happened right in front of me while I was playing golf with my friends, and they're looking the other way, and I'm like, then I saw like me in like this jumpsuit come in. It was a blue jumpsuit. I came in, and I was like, everything's gonna be good. Just stay focused. You're gonna be okay. And then whoop, back out again. I was like, whoa. So as I started to have more and more memories come through, that became more obvious that I was involved in, these secret space program, stuff. And so I do have memories in past lives of being a Draco, of working with the Dracos, but I came in to understand them. So a lot of people think, oh, you're evil, if you've been with these groups and so forth. That's not it at all. Like we'll incarnate, like some of us will incarnate to understand them and to bring in our more positive, loving energies to start to bring their energies up. So that's what some of us have been doing over time. So originally I'm from Sirius B. So I have memories of being Sirius B, and I still have part of me that's higher consciousness being that's in Sirius B that I communicate with on occasion, that comes through when I need, information to, advance my consciousness and so forth. So it's at like 6 to 7, frequency, dimensional frequency, if you want to call it that, very high frequency. I see crystalline cities in Sirius B, very high, it ascended basically, kind of like what Earth's doing, going through that process right now. So a lot of us have come in during this time frame to help that process. So with the James is saying with the Kruger group, I have an affinity with the Kruger group, and I think that is accurate, that I'm involved with them. So I think we can eventually discover that. Some of the other memories, maybe we can jump into, is I have memories of being in jumpsuits and being in like my teams coming in and fighting. And if the fighting gets really intense, we have basically a place where we know we're going to go. It's almost when you're in the SEAL teams and stuff, when we're patrolling in, you have a rendezvous point that you'll pick in case, shit hits the fan, everybody gets split up, and you come back to a point. We do that in my groups, where we can, if things get really bad, we can hit a button, boom, portal back to some place, rendezvous, and talk about how things are going bad, and then get another game plan and boom, pop back in and do it and go at it again. So I have memories of that, that's been coming through just recently. So maybe we can all kind of talk about that. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Thank you, Michael. Do you know if yes, go ahead, Jim. Do you know? Okay, see, okay, Michael, this is what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna be truthful with you. Nobody really knew anything about you, and then you just popped into the conference in March. I was trying to talk to you. You could only talk to me like for 2 minutes. There's a rumor going out there that a certain person, JC, is your handler, and that you're still working for the CIA. And they're saying that you are, part of the perhaps the misinformation group. And a lot of us are asking, are you still active with the CIA? Did they hire you? Did they threaten your family? Because see, there's 2 factions, Michael. I was involved with you in the military when I was in the US Army, okay? Our memories were white, okay? Listen to me. You were in the Stargate program as I was, and they call it SOG now, okay? I have friends that are in the DARPA agency that got mad at me because I actually shared the skull holding the world. And you know what that means, Michael. You know what that means, right? We really have no country. Okay. So we how can we sit here being pretending to be patriots and saving the US when in reality, real eyes, we work for the whole frickin' universe and dimensions. That's what that symbolizes. Special operations group, special operations glass, all that. So there are two factions, okay? There's a secret space program that actually will take us kids I was taken for that group and in 4th grade for the NASA group, okay? We were dressed in white. I don't know if you remember that. I was taught to fly a Wrights with the Wrights Brother program, a Cessna plane when I was in 7th grade. I myself, the pilot let go of everything. He said, "You're flying." I'm like, holy F, what's going on, right? So the Stargate program is part of the military, obviously, because the military and everything, the Draconians, the ETs, whatever, pretty much they all have a part in it. So when the I'm gonna say it, we're here. When the shit hits the fan, are you going to be with us, or are you going to play their game? Because I do understand, right? Like they say, that you are being called to be with our team, because we have the super soldiers, which is us, right here, and then we have the military, which is you, but then we have me, us, like I'm saying me and James, and we have all these memories of being together, and we talk to each other all the time. You avoid us. So when the shit hits the fan, Michael, are you going to be there? Like, what is your purpose? Let's start with that, and then I'll have James have all the questions and show whatever he wants, and then we'll get back. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to talking to you guys anytime. So that's not an issue. But as far as like my involvement with the CIA, that was honey terrorist, and they tried to.
Michael, we're considered terrorists. Michael, we're considered terrorists because we're targeted individuals. So what do you mean by terrorists?
No, I'm talking about not you guys, but terrorists, like in the Middle East. So that's where I was. Yeah. Yeah, the CIA is not involved with the CIA at all. So
not at all. Okay.
I left them on bad regards. In fact, they actually tried to kill me several times. So I'm not a CIA guy.
Let's talk about that, because I'm being followed all the time. James is being followed. My kids, my families, their homes broken into, mine too. Tell me about that, please, Michael. Be real. This is what we need today. We need you to be you.
Yeah. So there was one guy that basically came forward and talked about how he was in this program. He had worked with the Grays in Area 51, and he said that he was part of Looking Glass, and he talked about that. He was on a Carrie Cassidy show. Every time I mention his name, things go really bad, because I'm not going to mention his name, right? For your guys' sake as well. So he disclosed some stuff. I backed it up because I have memories of him, and my life, went upside down. Everything went. I thought I was indestructible because everyone loved me. I'd done so much work for everybody. Everybody thought highly of me. But once I disclosed that, everything shifted in my life completely. And I remember one time hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. All I had was a backpack, and that's about all I had left after being, living $1 million lifestyle. And at a white helicopter with no markings, no lights, the windshield blackened out, came in. I was on this one area of the trail where if I fell, I would fall into thousands of feet. No one would probably ever find me. And I was like, wow, this would be a great place for an ambush. And then I felt it before I saw it, and it came up. I was like, oh, these guys are going to mess with me. And then I felt my heart go like that, heart attack machine. And then I know how to control my body. So I was like, push it off, and I started walking faster. They went up and down the trail to make sure it was clear. I was the only one on the trail of this area. And then he came back, hit me like 2 more times. So 3 times total. They hit me with that heart attack machine. Didn't harm me. And then I finally got to an area where I could, like, slip off the trail, and I went invisible. So about 3 days later, some grays floated me out of my tent in the middle of the night and extracted. I still have a little scar where they extracted something that was in me. Some people was like, did they put something in you? It's like, no, they took something out because I was having all kind of issues and problems there. And they even said to me telepathically while they're working on me, hey, we're sorry, we've worked with you, and you've taught us a lot. We work, because there were several of us that were brought in to work with the Grays. And I guess I was one of those guys. So shortly after all these experiences, the CIA finally disclosed that, oh yeah, Area 51 does exist, and we're that's all it is. Just test place, where we test planes and stuff like that. So at least they finally admitted that they had a place. But up to that point, there was no mention of it. But for me coming out and disclosing it, along with this other guy, they don't like that. So
Right.
I'm
I have
not good with them.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting, but I have a question that I need to ask because it's important. Are you on government assistance? Did they actually let you get your pension? What's going on right now? Because a lot of us are on government assistance because they want to monitor us. You know how that is, with whether it's the satellites, the drones, the LiDAR, whatever, our phones. I always know when, with our abilities, we always know when they're around. Were you threatened to speak about something else, or they just said shut up? Don't say his name and don't disclose, because you just said you disclosed what we're talking about, SOG, which is many special operations group, which is primarily right now what we're focusing on is glass. And that is a technology that we also have because we all came in with these abilities. I don't know about you, but I can transmute things. I can put up an invisible shield. Right now, what I did, because I was running 20 minutes late, I asked Father Time and my spider that I have in the bathroom as to remind me of the spider tech Kevlar technology. I said, spider, weave 20 minutes extra. Father Time, I need this. Come on. And I looked at the thing. It was 20 minutes. I'm like, we did it. So there's things that we can do. Did you work like hands-on with those technologies in the military? What do you remember?
Yeah, I don't have memories of directly working with them, but I have abilities like that. I can move time, I can bend time. I can remote view, I can remote influence, I can heal people, and memories are coming through of all kinds of crazy things like I just brought up. It sounds crazy maybe to average person. For me, it's like, yeah, of course I'm having these memories come through. I've known this for a long time. It's time for them to come through. So I'm allowing them to come through. I'm not downing them like I used to at first. So I just allow them to come through. So when, I hear from somebody like, James says, you might be on the Kruger group. I'm like, yeah, that rings true. So I'm not doubting it. I'm not, before I was like, I don't think so. I don't have any memories of that. But when he said it, I'm like, yeah, I've known that. I've heard him talk about it, and like something's there. So, it'll be an exploration for me, and that's how everyone is that's discovering, their connections with the secret space program. So yeah, I'm secret space program. That's the future. That's the future. Anything.
Well, it's the past and the future. It's existed already. Do they have you on any? Did they have you on any medication, government assistance? How are you doing now? Like, what do you do?
Well, I get a pension because I retired, but I don't get anything else other than that. I'm like ultra healthy, so there's no issues with me.
Speaking of ultra healthy, another question that I have. Sorry, James, we'll get to you, buddy, my brother. Did like me, my body last 2 years ago said, hey, gotta lose some weight, chick. You gotta get off that medication. I started menopause without me even finding out last year. I'm like, what the hell? So it's I've been getting more clarification after I started working out. I lost 105 pounds. This month, past month, I gained 5 pounds of gains. I got a new booty. I got my arms, my core has always been strong. And you know that because you're part of that other program that we're going to talk about. We don't know. You might be the other. I don't know if you're part of the Hulk program. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But I did see your eyes change when I met you. And I told your wife, Tracy, I'm like, oh gosh, he's gotta be Draco. And I said, for sure, when I saw you real quick, Michael, it's so hard to say Michael because I always want to call you by the last name. I saw you as the expendable. And your wife Tracy was and this is personal, Tracy, don't get mad, but as the lady that uses the black leotard and is friends with Snake, okay, and it's like the enemy in Cobra,
Yep.
the movie. But anyway, G.I. Joe. And then let me tell you something. When I was taking my oh wow, this is weird. They're trying to stop me from telling you. Anyway, oh God, okay. I'm gonna tell you something. It's funny, but you are also an altar, and nobody knows this because I've not even talked about it. Charlie's Angels?
Yeah.
You're the boss, hey boss, you're the guy. Tracy's one of the girls, I'm one of the girls, and I haven't told Iris yet, but Iris Jackson is the other girl. Charlie's Angels, well, got, Jaco's Angels. And Charlie is a code word. So hopefully nobody will get triggered like savior and clear and all those words, right? Gotta be careful what you say. Now that was amazing because I did see that. However, there's one that I wanted to talk to you in person about it, but let's just talk about it here. Last week and a half or so, I was supposed to have the show with you, because I had to postpone it. So I had to do the 34 shots that I get on my head and here and in my jaw and then right here in my forehead. I wish they would give them to me here, right? In my little laugh lines. But anyway, because I do suffer from migraines and I have metal in my teeth and things like that. And I have TMJ, I'm constantly gripping, chronic PTSD, DID, all that crap that they labeled us with. So I had to reschedule, but the day before or two before what was it? I don't know if it was before or after, Michael, but I had a memory of you. This is intense. Please let me know what you see or what you feel about this. You telepathically told me, or it could have been your altar. You were still in the CIA. You were wearing a gray suit and white shirt, no tie. You had other men with black suits around you. You had an older station wagon Jeep kind of Wrangler to my left. I'm seeing you this way. Okay. So to my left, you're coming on, strong and you're coming. You're coming. And in my mind, you tell me, or your altar, you tell me, I'm gonna get your daughter. And I'm like, oh hell no, blah 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 blah. I look down because I'm in the back already of a like a, I don't know if I'm in a Tahoe or in a van, but it's a huge white van, white kind of SUV with white leather seats. You know what that is for, right? Wet works. And I look down, and I have an altar too. We're going to talk about Rodriguez with James right now. So I look down, and it's not my daughter. It's actually my granddaughter to be born. My kids don't have kids yet, but I can see them. I always talk to them anyway. My kids, grandkids, all that stuff. I look down, and it's my grandchild. And I get up from my bed and I'm like, oh hell no. So I went running, jogging, and I reset the whole thing. I undid what you or your altar or the CIA tried to do to me, because we know that there's screens, right? So what do you think about that, Michael? Thank you for listening, everyone.
I'm not going to say no. It kind of resonates true to a certain level when you're saying it. So maybe there's some kind of altar that I do have. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm split like James. I'm split all over the place. So And I haven't discovered them all. So there could be that bad altar out there. Because that, the negative side basically balances the positive. So we're learning from both. And maybe there's an aspect of me that's I don't, there's part of us that wants to believe that we're not capable of being evil or bad, but there's another part where you learn when you do that, and you create enough information. So maybe I'm in there, and that information somehow creeping in, and I'm using that now. So I could be like, the ultimate CIA, alter spy. So
Yeah, because I was in the
double
CIA
agent,
too.
double agent type guy, I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's a possibility. I'm not gonna say absolutely not, but
Yeah, most of us were in the CIA. We were training as kids, and also we had to make our own programs to shape, not only shape shift, but to change the timelines to where we are now. And I'm gonna tell you something. We that I've seen in the timelines that we've been here. We this is me though. Okay, I could be wrong, but I see us all waking up at the same time, chronological order as we do in each timeline. That is something that we did as time travelers, because some of us are time travelers, to make sure that Michael, you're here now, 2021. And it's always gonna be me that interviews you hardcore, because you and I have history. Even Iris Jackson has a memory, but I can't go there. This is personal. It's up to her whenever she wants to disclose it. There are so many of us that are coming out finally, and saying we're tired of being called crazy. And even my one of my DARPA agents made fun of me, and he says, you've gone rogue there, Vero. No one's gonna believe you because you're labeled this and mine. I'm like, dude, everything we talked about, he tried to recruit me, and I'm not gonna say, for what. Okay. There's certain military factions that can train here in Arizona. And only in that place. So he tried to stop me from talking. He said, this is why now I can't recruit you, because you're just gonna give all the secrets. And he says, you signed up for this. And I said, I did not sign up for this. I was 1 year and 8 months. The first time they took me 3 years, and when I came back from the 20 and back, I just finally got my memory is that now I know when I came back the first time from the 20, my first 20 back, because I've done several. Okay. I was in 5th grade and I didn't need any glasses. My vision was perfect. 6th grade came along. I had the thickest, ugliest frog glasses anybody could wear. Now I know. And I just found out this 2 days ago. They try and stop us. I did verify with him as far as my visions. He confirmed all of them. I was talking to him about the G Mafia, right? That I talk about a lot, the smart cities and the takeover of the wannabe AI world, transhumanism. And I told him, I said, the AI transhumanism, we'll call it the bad one, will not win, because we human, right? Us with the abilities that we came in, because we're not from here and stuck in this human form. We got this. Can AI really say the AI has to tell the pinky, go ahead and move in order to move. And it's a logarithm, right? The hive mind. Us in human form and even without human form, our abilities, we don't even have to tell our pinky, hey, move for it in order for it to move. Okay. That's the difference, people. There's a scare going on right now with all the what they want to try and lay on humanity. What I see is, I did see the FEMA camps. I did see that they're going to try and treat us, the people that don't want to take whatever's going on, as lepers. they're gonna not want us to be in the smart cities, right? They're gonna use them, we'll call it the people that said yes and the people that said yes to gaining thousands and thousands of dollars or security for eternity for them or their children to go into these other programs because they want that type of AI hybrid to go to other dimensions and other planets. That's what's happening now. Now, this channel, guys, is not for kindergarten or preschoolers. This is advanced. We are all geniuses here. And I'm going to let you talk, Michael, for sure now. And then for sure, James, okay? This is a lot of stuff. This is heavy shit. This is not, excuse my language, but this is not for the weary. This is for the lions. This is for the Dracos. This is for the dragons. This is for us. I'm in charge of finding out who all of our family is, and we are all dragons. In the secret space program, we are dragons. That's why, Michael, I had to ask you if you were part of us, and I have goosebumps right now, and I'm sending you appreciation, love for all of us right now. I'm sending you all love, the guardians of the galaxies right now that are listening, because we have been, they try and bring us down. They try and make us feel dumb, stupid, and dumb. Speaking of dumbs, we were in the dumbs. James. Anyway, Michael, I'll let you speak now, and then James, thank you so much.
So yeah, I agree with you there. The transition is happening. They're going to try and, corral us into, camps and stuff like that. That's part of their process. That's part of their motive. A lot of us have seen that coming. We're trying to warn as many people as possible. It could be, maybe, some of us will go to those camps, eventually, but not all of us. We're going to resist that. And I don't think they're going to have much success in that if they do try and start that. But because there's so many people, that have weapons, and there'll be a massive resistance, especially in a place like Florida and Texas. So they tried to take those states down, and they have been successful. So they might go ahead and move ahead with that in some of the other states. I think they will, and then start their little FEMA camps or whatever in some of these other states. So other states won't do that, and it's going to be, like you said, a little long drawn out process. But some people are on board with it. They want the smart cities, they want the AI, they want the to live forever, and they're going to have it because the thing that's coming in, that people are taking is changing consciousness to fit that program, and it's just. They don't get them on the first round. They get them on the second or the third or the fourth because they're going to keep coming with it. Yeah, at least. So I'll divert over to James. Looking forward to seeing what James has to say.
Yeah. So as far as the FEMA camps are concerned, that particular timeline is where they have. That's going to take off if they do mandatory. Oh my gosh, I have to be cryptic here what I say because I don't want this channel to
V
get
wars.
because I just YouTube just hit my channel with multiple copyright strikes. They even deleted one video. The guy was channeling an AI from 6.5 million years in the future, which was promoting the whole agenda. And because that also contradicted the CDC and World Health Organization, they took that one down. So I'm going to be careful what I say, but yeah, so there was civil war in that particular timeline, but I don't think it's going to happen here. If they do enforce FEMA camps, there are a lot of sleeper super soldiers here in the United States, and they will, at least according to Peter the Insider, they have poisoned food in the FEMA camps. So all the people that eat it, they're going to drop dead, except for the super soldiers. And then next thing you know, their altars will get activated. So they're going to have a bunch of super soldiers gone rogue in a bunch of FEMA camps, and that's not going to be a good situation. And so for them anyway, and the super soldiers will take care of what they need to do. So it's not advisable for them to try to even try to go about that agenda, unless I guess maybe they could find out who all the super soldiers are and don't give them poison food. But anyhow, so I think that answers your question. Did you want me to go
Let's
on?
do Kruger and before Kruger, and then we'll do the mission that we were on with Adrian and Tony Rodriguez, etc.
Okay. So you want to know more about Kruger, like define what it is?
Well, you and Michael, that way because Michael is in the Kruger program, I'm in all of them. So you're in the Kruger program. That way we can jog any memory. Okay, Michael, hope you don't mind, but when people talk to me, they get memories, whether it's on camera or I'm face to face or on the phone. Okay, so I'm an activator. We're pretty much activators. Okay, but I'm pretty much in charge of activating the real super soldiers. So give it a whirl. Whatever you want to talk about there, James and Michael.
All right. Well, I guess I just go briefly what Kruger is. Kruger is a SSP military contractor. It was started in another alternate reality in which the NAZIs won World War II. And so it's a military contractor for that particular apparatus. And it's originally founded by Gabriel Kruger. And I don't think he's necessarily in charge of it now, but he's still participating. A lot of these guys, I mean, they're over 120, 150 years old. They're still alive and they're still running these programs. So we are expecting the same people that were in charge of secrecy for the last 80, 90 years to suddenly want to come out and tell us about these programs are real. It's probably not going to happen. Not like that. They might have to force their hand. But Kruger is more what I would consider more positively aligned, although they themselves they have certain policies, which I don't really like. For starters, they view us as home alters, our physical body here. So like, for instance, like yesterday, I was taken and brought to a facility, most likely on the moon. I didn't investigate where I was actually taken into stasis, but they put you in some bunch of green goo and hold you there. For me, it was 2 weeks, and then your consciousness is taken out of your body and you're put into clone bodies that they made. A cyborg, this particular cyborg had a glass type helmet over his skull where you can look into his brain. He's roughly about 7 foot tall, and they hulked out and all that. So that particular cyborg was designed to be sent on an underground operation underneath Africa to blow up some kind of reactor, some kind of cabal facility controlled by these royal Dracos, the negative ones that we needed to take out. So he's got ocular implant, left eye. I also have, by the way, the same thing. So I'm not too thrilled about that, but I guess they want to keep track of us. He was designed to be short-lived, but used for espionage, wet works, and bounty hunter. So then in that particular mission, he died. So consciousness was sent back to the facility, and they had to make another clone. Then they sent us, I think they sent us to Switzerland or Italy, someplace in the Alps. They have some compounds there controlled by Shell House members and Delphi House. So these guys these are people that are above the cabal, people you would never hear about. So they're the ones that are making the rules.
James,
And
Bangladesh as well.
I wonder if that's would be connected to the umbrella side at all.
That is connected to the umbrella side and the crown, the crown estates that we were talking about yesterday.
Because umbrella is they're taking our DNA and making clones to super soldiers to be used to protect themselves. So that's part of what our missions were with Kruger, was to attack these particular clones and take them out, as well as another facility which was on I think Europa. There's a cabal cloning facility there, and so they needed to take us out. And I'm pretty sure you were there, Veronica, and you're 7 foot tall, male muscular body. So obviously they don't really care what gender, they can switch you around in the clone bodies. As long as it's got some of your DNA and it's not too hard to switch the chromosomes around. And yeah, so I think I think Anthony Zender was there. I wouldn't be surprised. Adrian participated.
Sender
Other-
is there. Anthony Sender's there, and I believe Iris Jackson too, but she hasn't come out yet.
Johan, Johan Fritz. So he was there participating. So okay, let's see here. I think that pretty much covers it. Why don't you explain a little bit what you saw? You said something about the Crown Estate, something about the Queen is in charge of cloning for Hillary Clinton. What's that up? What's going on with that, Veronica?
Wow. Michael, you can pop in anytime. Would you agree? Of course. Okay. We know that Hillary Clinton is the highest witch in order for such a time as this. Unfortunately, she is the one that holds the red button for the Omega program, for when I was told to shoot myself and take myself out. When people are told certain things like you're not worth it, go ahead and off yourself. They don't want us to have this knowledge. Well, we have it, but they don't want us to have this breakthrough or what they call awakening from our real self to show the world who we are. They don't want that. So yeah, she works with the Queen. Hillary did. There's some SRA stuff that she did to me in Mexico with some men in black that I don't want to get into. Okay. So yeah, they pretty much want to keep us locked down here and use fear. And the ones that we are awakened to this are getting more memories, and we need to speak about them. I'm not saying speak about them in detail, because obviously that would be in person, like maybe if somebody needs a session. We all can help anybody that comes to us, because here we, Michael, James, and I, we have all the abilities. So real quick, Michael, did your main one fire like me? Because we have all of them, but the fire one is like imminent. I see it. Do you do that? Yeah.
So what James was talking about is resonates with me, especially with Johan Fritz. I think he and I work as a team. That's what I see every time I see him. I'm like, I know him. I'm like working with him somehow. When James is talking, maybe kind of like what you're talking about, Veronica, you're like you're an awakener. But I see the two of us going in and doing pretty much wet work, against people that are really evil. And so I think the Kruger, although you might say that's not good, I think they're mostly eliminating really bad people. And I think that's our aim in that program. And a lot of us are very dedicated. So
yes, we are.
a very big man in that realm, and very powerful, and very skilled, and kind of like those movies where you see guys coming in and it's like, two pistols in the hand. This whole life I'm like, I have to learn how to shoot like that. I know that I've been doing that somewhere, and I know I do it in that realm. We come in and take out somebody, and maybe his protective detail gets alerted once we eliminate him somehow, and then it's like
I'm really good with knives. I have like 15 or 16 knives. Mm-hmm. I don't know how. Well, now I do. But yeah, the wet works. I have an altar. He's a Sakairo, and his name is Alka. And the one that James is talking about is Rodriguez, because Tony is Tony Rodriguez. So they had to differentiate between us. So yeah, do you remember your armor, Michael?
Yeah, I have different armor suits. you know, it depends on, you know, what the mission is. You know, if you're going into battle against, you know, reptoids or against um, the arachnoids, whatever it is, you know, you're going to have like your major armor. But if you're going in, you know, to like just scouting or something, you have like something that's really, really limited, just like your jumpsuit that's, you know, compacted on your body, and then maybe some like body armor, you know, real light. And then it builds from there. Some of it I have memories of coming in the back of it, and then, you know, putting my arms through, and it just kind of like goes behind me. So
Yeah, it's sentient. It goes.
yeah, it
It is.
connects with your body, and it's like it moves with your body. It's not like heavy. I don't have, it's like super light. It's like it's not even there, but it's like super, it's thick as hell. It takes like all kind of impulse weapons, lasers, and all kind of stuff. It laughs at it. But yeah, there's lots of different, I see 3 different body armor groups depending on your mission. And then one that's like we've seen where guys get into it, and it's like they're almost in a control room, and like, you know, almost robotic, you know, it's like it's big as shit. So yeah, there's lots of different stuff, lots of different
Yeah.
body armors out
Yeah,
there.
you see, so right now with the whole thing about what we're talking about, and you know, some people say, oh, Hillary was taken out, she's in Gitmo. No, Michael and James, I still feel her vibration. She is somewhere. She's still alive, and so is the queen, but she's not in her place of where she was living. Okay, she's in an underground base, and she's being protected. Hillary is somewhere. I'll do it later. I'll do a session with myself later. but the main thing is that this whole politics, you know, plays a game. A lot of people said, oh, DT is coming back. DT has been in my dreams and in my daughter's memories. So we you know, Hillary is the one that would inspect us, our uniform, you know, we would be in line, you know, she would have sex with some of us. I remember I'm in male form in this program. So yeah, when it makes sense now when Johann Fritz says that she groped him, well, yeah, because, you know, she's a pervert, she's a pedophile. And a lot of these politicians are, no matter what side they're on. I made a video recently, the God Wars, you know, the different gods, and we're gods too, remember that. But some people, they're still asleep to that. And they'll have like the Jesus team, they'll have like the Buddha team, they'll have, right, all these teams. And then they're like, I want, like a basketball game, like I wonder who's going to be on our team, or the, you know, the soldier team, whatever, who's going to take care of technology, who's going to take care of this, factions, every little faction. And then we bring it down here to earth, and it's like, okay, who's going to be in this religion, who's going to vote for that president, you know, puppet masters. And that's what I tell people is like, are you going to be controlled by the puppet masters here? It does not matter who you vote for. People are giving their energies, and they're using the loosh. Okay, so what do y'all have to say about that?
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that, you know, if one guy comes back, everything changes. I don't see that. I think it's like a group that's involved in that. You know, they're against other groups, and so they do evil things just like the other groups do to stay in power. It's just you know, just somebody's going to trade power, or they're going to resist. So we have a lot of resistance going on right now. It hasn't been a smooth transition. So there we're going to see some heavy fireworks, I think, pretty soon. It's coming to a head. And,
Michael, you had said that Donald Trump was going to win. What do you think now?
well, I do think he won, without question. I think a lot of people that, you know, are seeing, you know, how the vote went and how it was manipulated. It was definitely a win for him. They stepped back and let him, let him, the person that's in power now, get in that power so that everybody could see, how corrupt that system is, and that they're not really that great of a system to allow to continue. So I think that's
Right. Do you watch the news, Michael and James?
sure. Yeah.
I don't watch the news because I don't, I want to just use my abilities on what's going on. Now, if somebody tells me something, like last night, my son, he's probably watching now. He told me, Mom, did you hear what's going on with Mexico and the USA? Like the USA, and I'm like, mijito, I said, I saw this coming. In 2017, I saw it coming. I saw Mexico contra USA, China against the whole European faction. Okay, so I saw it. I have a memory. I have a map in front of me in this memory, which is actually a looking glass. Talking about looking glass, it's a how do you say ¿cómo se dice esta madre? The give me the word, like a laptop, but not a laptop. What is it? The little square thing that we have in space. Forget. Yeah, that.
Mhm.
And
That's
so
what
I
did.
saw, thank you. So I saw the red was the red line coming from China up north. And then I saw an orange light coming a line from Mexico to USA and above Canada and all that. And I had a man that was right here. He's the old man, but this time he was the old man that we all talk about. But this time he had like grayish hair and he had like a business suit, but without the jacket. It was a grayish color, kind of like my Wi-Fi beanie hat, like this, and then white, and then I was wearing a black and white suit. In most of these programs, I'm in black and white suits. I was also taught to use a pen, like Men in Black, to erase people's memories. Anyway, when I find this out, when I see this happening, the man here says, let's go, we gotta go. And in my mind, I'm like, holy F, where's my kids? And I look behind me and they're like in an atrium, kind of a glass protector. This is how I protect them too. This is before I knew I had all these abilities. This is in 2017 when I have this memory. So for such a time as this, we are here, guys. It's all coming together. And there's a man and a lady taking care of my kids. They're younger, okay, in this memory. And then all these men in black come racing in and we run. We run, we fly, okay? We take a flight. And then the other part of the memory, which is part of the FEMA camps, I feel, is there's yellow school buses. I have many memories of yellow school buses and construction, semis, trucks. I know the firefighters that are there on the underground bases. That's part of the dumps, okay? We are there. And then the next thing I see is, oh gosh, I'm getting goosebumps. One of an acquaintance that I had at Kodak when I was in the behavioral health system, when they had me all messed up there, she comes up to me in an orange jumpsuit. These are all code words, guys. Come on. She says, "Are you gonna come back for me, Vero?" And I said, and I have a clipboard. The tall old man is here, and I said, "Yes, I am. I'm rounding up my people now." So do you all have, like, can you relate, or what do you want to say about that, guys?
I don't know what's the question? What are you asking?
That's coming. What's happening right now is coming. Okay. They're gonna take the people in orange jumpsuits. This is according to my memory. And we're gonna need to change this timeline, guys. This is what I'm telling you. The yellow school buses, they're gonna come for people. Yellow,
Do you
meaning
think
people are gonna be in yellow suits, getting people in orange jumpsuits to the FEMA camps, trying to poison them. Just what Michael and we were talking about right now. So we got to change this timeline so that the AI world, the AI machine does not win, because like Penny Bradley says, we do need the Civil War. And some of y'all in the SSP group don't remember that. Well, then get the F out of here. You know what I mean? We need the Civil War timeline to save everyone. I have another memory with another person that I don't want to get into. And we are, it's also Susan's there, you're there, James, Michael, you're outside watching, but we're in this little white little house, and the people are lining up in RVs to an RV, like a RV, like a trailer, and they are desperately asking for food or whatever. So there's two guys in there, they have the little white hats there, giving them these. Do you remember when we were kids, guys? We had these multiple colored things that you just like drink them like that, like those little candies, little multicolored. Well, these things are like in a syringe form, and but they don't have the needle, okay? And they're in white little packets. Yeah. And then they're given to these people. Okay. We're inside, and then Michael, you're like, okay, we're ready to come out because we had to clear. But this person, which I thought was my divine counterpart recently, he's in the program too. He said, yeah, he says, people are going to be so ungrateful even after we saved their ass. And then there's other people. If you look at our video yesterday, other people that do not believe that we are here to help save them. And how are we going to help save them? It's not that, oh, holy am I, bow down to me, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? My Count Choctaw like comes out sometimes. But anyway, it's not that. It's we're here individually. Michael, James, we all work out. We, like I said, we got this thing, I don't know what you call it, but motivación, motivation, enthusiasm. We got this message saying, get your act together. Stop eating that crap. You got to do this, you got to do that. So it's in an innate program that we have together as a team to be here and do it. Because, guys, like, what happens when you're not working out and you're eating jelly donuts and you're drinking beer, vodka, whatever? You're not exercising. What happens? Your body slows down. Your core, you're not doing any core stuff. How are you going to fight people in the FEMA camps if that happens? How are you going to fight people, to save the children or you know what I mean? So, and as far as the food, James, we transmute that because we have the ability. So they can try giving us all the poison food, which I give no consent to, but we transmute that stuff. So I'm done talking for now, I hope. Let's go. Let's see what else y'all want to talk about.
Yeah, so go ahead, James.
I think we're going to see starvation this fall. I mean, supply chains are already breaking down. If we have some kind of catastrophic collapse, to say the Three Gorges Dam, and then the Chinese might make their move because they got to feed their people, and then also if a bunch of people start getting sick this fall because of their stupid decision that they decided to do, they're not going to go to work. They're going to be so there are going to be a lot of people not on their jobs. I think the farm and some farmers are actually being paid to throw their crops away. The Biden administration is using all that stimulus money so our whole economy and the supply chain is breaking down. How bad it'll get, I don't know. I mean, that's all kind of variable depending on decisions and choices we make now. But go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment because you are seeing supply chains break down. And if people think that's impossible, just think back to the toilet paper. That was just, just testing that system that they have coming as far as shutting everything down. So I've been saying that they were going to burn the West and flood the East. So that destroys a lot of crops as well. So we're seeing, California, we're seeing the directed energy weapons or, destroy that one town in Greenville, California. It's the same thing. You see telephone poles that are burning on the inside from the microwaves and scalar weapons that they use. Homes that are completely down to ash with the trees still living, not touched around them. Benches that are metal benches right up next to where they were microwaving a building that's untouched. So the heat didn't damage it at all. That's because the microwaves are you know, cooking the stuff in it. The cars on the outside, tires are completely gone, glass is gone, engine blocks are melted, you know, brake pads are melted out, liquefied. So it's they're doing the same thing. I know I have been, you know, pointing this out year after year after year. They've been slowly and methodically burning California and destroying homes, and I think this year they're gonna reach a new level. Well, they already have, because the level of burning is 205% more than it was last year, which was a record. So here on the East Coast, there's you know, flooding hasn't quite started yet, although in some places it has. I think as we're moving deeper into probably the end of August and September, that's going to start to pick up. So we're going to see these supply chains, you know, shut down, and that's on purpose. They've always gone to this when they want to, like, you know, take complete control. So will somebody step in and be our savior? I don't think so. I hope so, but if it doesn't happen, then it's up to us. And I think there's going to be, you know, some of us, like James was talking about, they go super soldier mode. I see a timeline where I'm at that super soldier mode. So we'll see what happens. There's different things that can happen if consciousness, if people wake up to it. But like James is talking about, there's going to be a lot of sick people here coming up, and it's not from variants, it's from people that have chosen a certain path, and they're constantly pressing that, going to make that mandatory, and that mandatory, you know, pushes more people into it, and then there's just a few of us left that won't do it, and we'll be the undesirables because they won't be able to control us.
Michael,
Yeah.
Michael, do you think they might require it for voting? A card, the V card?
For
And how would
voting,
how would that affect
for voting, for flying, for, you know, everything? It's mandatory. So I think that mandatory from the government that could be the thing that pushes consciousness too far, and that could be the one that wakens people up, and they say, okay, that's enough. But I think they have a lot of people that have their consciousness captured. We basically just went through a Stockholm syndrome, where everyone is now believing that their captors are their saviors, that they're the good guys. So the Stockholm syndrome that he's put us through is, you know, tried and true. It's happened over and over, and we've seen this process. It's out of the book. I mean, there's Army training manuals, you know, that have all this stuff, and they just did that, you know, on the world. Some areas are still harder, like Australia. Australia, I think, is in its 6th lockdown, but there's only a certain percent, very small percent of people that have chosen that one thing that we're talking about. So they're trying to force everyone into that, because that's basically gonna, it basically maps the brain. And then once it's mapped the brain, they, you know, scalar, you know, energize that and tell it what it's going to do. So we know that we're not going to go that route. The only way that stuff gets in me is if it's in my dead body. So that's not going to happen. And I think there's enough of us that are going to resist that. That's going to eventually change the path of this. It remains to be seen, you know, how far they get to push it and how far it goes. So those timelines we're talking about are going to be very not good. There's no good timeline going forward at this point. So there's going to be some issues going forward. On the other side of it, yeah, goodness, you know, good vibrations, better world, better, but a long time out, years out. It's not like, you know, tomorrow someone comes and saves us, which I don't think happens.
Yeah, I was told these death waves are going to keep continuing to 2024, and that's from people that got the what, you know, the thing we're not supposed to say. Yeah. And then, but maybe if we have huge amounts of death waves in this country, we can maybe avoid the Civil War aspect, because maybe instead of people being angry at each other, the focus will be basically on the doctors and government authorities who forced it onto them. So it would unite, because I was told until Trump, because we had during the Trump administration, I don't know if I guess I'm allowed to say that word. We had a lot of people protesters, right? We had Antifa and Black Lives Matter. So, but now we have this other administration in. So until both of these groups, we see protesters on the street. It doesn't matter who you support. Once everybody comes unified, that's when the Great Awakening has begun. But we haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen Biden supporters out there with Trump supporters protesting on the streets. But eventually, it's going to happen, I think.
I think it happens in the maybe not completely. I think there's going to be a couple different paths for people to go down. The dark ones will go down a certain path and split away, and then there's going to be a split where the ones that are ready to ascend are going to split and go. Most of humanity ascends, but like I said, there's a lot of people that have their consciousness captured, and overcoming that is the issue going forward. And that's the thing that's keeping us locked down the way we are, and they're pushing these mandatory issues all over the place. So yeah, it's going to be a battle, I think, at some point. And how much of a battle? I think the big cities are where the battlegrounds are. So I think the open areas it's the main part of the U.S. And that's where everybody congregates and gathers and plans and then assaults some of these cities. Some of these cities are just be left to rot, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and the economies are going to. What I was told, at least last January, was that in more democratic controlled areas, they're going to have more lockdowns, and the economies are going to get trashed. Whereas the other areas, maybe such as like Florida, where they're not doing as many lockdowns or almost none, I guess. I'm assuming they don't have any lockdowns in Florida. So the economies are going to flourish. So it's going to become pretty evident. When we start having mass exoduses of people moving around, trying to escape these areas, such as New York City, which in my opinion is an absolute mess. What they're doing over there, it's outrageous. We had when I came on your show a week or so ago, a little bit over a week ago, we had Jenny Lee on there, and she was predicting that there's going to be a tsunami hitting New York City that goes up to the first floor of the buildings on the island there. So maybe that would be enough just to kind of trigger the consciousness of the people to sort of wake up and realize that, wait a minute, why are we so focused on all these mandates and lockdowns when we're about to lose our whole city? So
I also saw California in my memory, and in California, because the plates, they have the tectonic plates are actually booby trapped. So I saw, the whole thing come off, and then that's why there's songs like "Let's Go to Arizona" and the oceanfront property. Arizona, I'm gonna buy me some oceanfront property, right? That's if you all really listen to everything that this matrix puts out and the powers that be. But during this huge flood that I saw, and it was when we took everybody on the ship and we took the animals, there was elephants, there was tigers, there was kids, everything. But we took them on this huge ship, and there was some good grays that were helping us. And then there's a huge screen in the bottom floor, because this the ship is like really big, and it has it's kind of like a huge stadium, like bigger than that. There's a stadium inside the ship. And then on the bottom floor, because we were all in our uniforms, we're all taking care of people, come on, sit here, sit there. We have to sit them down so they can look at the huge screen to tell them, hey, what's the next step? And I go up to the second floor and I talk to one of the grays. And then I'm in another room, and there's Hillary Clinton, and she has a harness here, kind of like the roller coaster harness that you put here. and other politicians and other people, even a person that I know that did me wrong here was there. I don't know if it could be a screen memory or whatever, but yeah, so then I push the red button and Hillary Clinton's there and I shoot them off to another dimension to go, they're never going to come back. If people do not change now, pedophilia is whatever, pedophiles, if people in general do not find out who they truly are, stop worshiping these gods. And you know, if people don't want to wake up to their mission here and they keep doing wrong, they keep hurting the children, they keep hurting the animals, they keep effing up our water supplies, they keep, you know, the 13 family love lines that speak up to the others and the others and the others, they're not going to come back. We're gonna make sure of that. Fire and more fire and other elements and other technologies that we know about too, our abilities. I mean, they're just not gonna come back. You guys are not gonna come back. I'm talking to you all that know. So anyway, anything else you would like to add, Michael or James?
Yeah, you know, in that show that did with James, we also saw that there were large starships that come in and they're going to allow visitation. I see the same thing for the DUMBs. So there's massive cities that are underground that are super high tech, that are linked with maglev and other, you know, advanced technologies, junk rooms, all kind of crazy stuff. So I think that there's going to be a period of time where we may have to put, you know, a big chunk, if not all of humanity down there, you know, because things are going to get, you know, maybe during the ascension process or whatever happens. But I see some serious problems going forward, you know, as far as the land and the ocean, stuff like it. A lot of people prophesied this and it never came to pass. Whether that's a consciousness shift that allowed us not to go through that. Will there be another consciousness shift that allows us not to go through that? I think that at some point we have to have, like James was talking about, you know, some kind of super trauma that basically shakes people out of, you know, their stupidity and lets them see, you know, where they're at, because even these cities are going to, and these states are going to be starving their people out and going to ruin. Those people are still going to like look down at the other states that are doing really well and think it's their fault that they're, you know, not achieving. So there's still going to be some captured consciousness going forward, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be a very difficult time, you know, for the next 1 to 2 years.
Okay, so I've got some more information to share. Yeah, so when I was on your show, Michael, I was kind of hesitant to share some of this stuff because I don't want to necessarily sound like a false prophet. So some of this information in particular, especially when we look into the future timelines, remote viewing, and some of this information is given to me, the people who have contacts with the Andromedan groups and ET groups. Yeah, so everything it could be subject to change, but now when I was on your show, I talked a little, I already mentioned how that they're working on trying to create a new variant they want to release in the future and to create a whole third round of, you know what. So and then I mentioned that there might be about 55 million deaths here in the United States from that. Well, one of the things I skipped through because it was just, to me, it was, I think it might have been too much information from your listeners, but there was these fires in the ocean. There's 3 of them, evidently. I just pulled this article up. This one was from July 3rd, and this is in the Gulf of Mexico. So evidently the cabal has been opening up portals to hell in the ocean. And I mean, they're saying that it's natural gas and yada, yada. But I mean, that's why we have super soldiers to take care of this kind of stuff. But these portals are being opened up to allow entities to come in. So people that got that, you know what, when their consciousness is pushed out through AI, they become essentially the living dead, is the word that I used when I was on your show. And so their consciousness is gone, and entities such as these demons come through here, these portals. Actually, I might just see if I go ahead and play that. So you can see, does that look like, I mean, how in the world can they possibly say if the ocean catches on fire? I mean, anyway, so I'm going to go ahead.
Portal. It's a portal that they did open, and that's why
Yeah.
the USA and Mexico are mad. That makes sense.
Okay. So I wanted to mention, yeah. So I just thought that was important to bring up. Oh, you know what? I had some, I think that was pretty much all. It was also a variant. The variant's it's going to be a different type of avian flu, and it's coming out of Ethiopia. So they already got it. They've been engineering it at Fort Detrick's, and that particular variant, it's not even the cocoa stuff, but it's they've got the cure for it. They've also got another Jabiru for it, and the cure for the Jabiru is what I meant to is what I say, because the actual this avian flu is not that bad. It's okay. So, and that's where I was talking about the CRISPR technology and so on, using to reverse all the damage. Now, the other
Real
thing that
quick,
yes,
James, they're gonna try and make this is what I'm seeing. Now I know. Thank you. So what we were doing, in this memory with the people going outside in the white kind of camper thing with things, that's what it is. They're gonna sell an what do they call it? An anecdote? Right? Sorry, my Spanish, but I see everything is so fast. My brain goes so fast and I'm everywhere. That's what they're gonna try and do. Okay. That's the first thing they're gonna try and do. And then they're gonna try and do the smart cities. Oh, really? You don't want to live in the burned up places like they show with Will Smith with his canine dog. What is that movie? It's Zombie War or something. What's the name? He's living in, I think it's in New York, right? And he's like the only one with his dog. And what they did with right before, he sets alone, with the whole city is alone, but there's these vampire reptilian looking things fighting him. And before that, he was trying to get his wife and his son off of the place, because, the FEMA camps were coming, all that crap. There's people already being detained. And they had this thing that they would show this, how they take your temperature here? Well, this was looking into your eyes. That's coming. Okay. What's coming is now, instead of here, they're going to be like, yo, did you take the vaccine? How do you know? Because it's nanites. That black sentient being is in their system. Look at their eyes. Whenever you can, you'll see numbers.
That movie's I Am Legend.
I Am Legend, that one. That's coming. It's like, this is right now the time that we have to let everybody know, because a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, why are you so focused on super soldiers? Because I know what's coming. Oh, it's a program. Well, I know what's coming. So this is our time right now for all of us that we can to tell what we see, what's happening, what's in the scenes, look beyond what they're trying to do.
all right. Let me actually just share my screen here. So here's more specifically my notes that I was just going by memory. A few other things in there. You see, the Trump is not in charge. People say he's, I thought he was, but apparently it's the alliance that's running the executive branch now. The Andromedans are working with the alliance. I think we don't really necessarily have any. The whole executive branch is just a huge vacuum of power right now. But yeah, so I've already gone over this. South Korea has the antidote, the virus project number. I'm trying to get the exact. I'm gonna see if I get a hold of the exact numbers. Like next time we meet up, we can go over all that. And then I already talked about the deaths start taking place October. Something called the death rattle. So these people have like this deep phlegm-like cough. And then these people become violent. And that, again, that goes through to the cause, I mentioned about the portal. And then this is what I didn't want to mention on your show because I didn't want to cause a lot of fear. But I think there's a possibility the super soldiers and ET might be able to stop this stuff. But yeah, the Three Gorges Dam blows. China is probably going to lose it, and might start coming after US, and this will be right around the same time. It's just going to be absolute chaos if this takes place. So yeah, there you see right there. I don't want to necessarily say it out loud. You can read it. Another place in California, and I think third city is DC or Detroit. So I don't necessarily, I'm not, like I said, I think timelines can change. I'm not trying to say this is definitely going to happen, but I think we can probably change it by just talking about it. And then yeah,
Sorry.
so
I
go ahead.
I did in my memories, California, Detroit. No, I don't know about Detroit, but I did see DC, California, and Texas, because there is an underground base there with I can't stand him, Elon Musk. Okay, there's a portal there that CERN opens up whenever they need it to cause more fear. So that, and then
Maybe they'll have to nuke it to close the
as
portal.
well. Yeah, go ahead.
They'll have to nuke it to close the portal.
James, what remote viewing we were talking about? You guys have done.
This is actually comes from somebody who's in contact with ET. The information I gave you earlier with Kimberly, that I'm sorry, that was with Kimberly. We were came up with some info about the missions, the rescue missions that we did when they activated us for Kruger. But yeah, so does that answer your question? Or okay, because I wanted to share some pictures. I've got some drawings of suits because you were talking earlier about some suits. You want to see some of the suits they have us?
Oh yeah,
There.
definitely.
I just need I need a quick break. Are you guys okay with taking a break and then coming back, or I can take a break and then come back? Let's just take a break. What do you
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.